Today I am going to bring forth a message from Sarahi, who is the daughter of Magdalene and Jesus. And she will speak to us today during this Easter week about the resurrection. Dear God, creator of all that is, Alpha, Omega, Enchanted One, Solara, Isis and Ra, Magdalene and Yesu, Two Feathers, Sarah, all of the ascended masters and angelic hosts who are with us, we give thanks. We completely surrender now into the vibration of all that is, drawing forth from this reflection those vibrations that are here to guide, support us, and harmonize us in this moment. Amen. In this space, I now expand myself into the vibration of Sarah, the daughter of Magdalene and Jesus, that she may speak to us at this time of the resurrection. Hello to all of you, to all who have come to listen today. It is with great honor that I come to speak with you, for as you know, my voice has not been called upon much. And in fact, as you know, I have often been left out of the story of my father and my mother. But the times are changing, and now we are remembering more. And let me begin by speaking about my existence, for there are many of you who will have a challenge even to experience the possibility that I and my siblings may exist. For many of you, the one that I know as my father, that you know as Jesus, was said to be a single man outside of the journey of the family. It is said that he was not married, nor did he have children. But I am here to say to you that that simply makes no sense. He was a man of love in a time in which family was essential and honored. Love, perhaps, not as essential as the structure of family itself. And I am not saying to you that my father and my mother didn't love, for they loved very large. The love that they had exceeded the expectations of love at that time. At that time, the structure of family was based on religious beliefs as well as survival. But within that structure, my parents had a love that was beyond all understandings of the time. A love that was brought forth from spirit to earth. A love that acted as an umbrella to the children and to all the people who were blessed by their presence. So it is honored now that I can speak and that you will listen, because we have moved now to a time in which we are ready to hear the truth, a time in which the structure of the world no longer serves us as it is, a time in which we must look beyond what we are told into what we know in our hearts. We must think about what makes sense and not simply accept what we are told. This is one of the lessons that my parents taught me in that life when I walked with them. This is one of the lessons that we bring forth now. My mother and my father and I. We come forward in a new way now because people are ready. We, as a species, as a human species, have evolved to a point in which survival is not always our primary thought. Of course, there are people around the world still working to survive. And I am not just speaking of those who are in poverty, for you can live a brilliant life beyond survival, even with smallest means. And you can have riches that fill a mansion and still live your life based in survival. So what I am saying is that we have evolved as a species, we have evolved as a humankind to a point where we can now look at the bigger picture. And this is why I step forward, to bring you the bigger picture. We are walking now in the time that we have known to remember the ascension of my Father. But let us also see this as the ascension of all of us, of humankind. And perhaps it has taken thousands of years for us to realize the truth of this message. But now we can. So let me recount for you my memories of my life with my Father in the physical and in the spirit world. When I was a small child, I was raised in a space of pure love. My family created a bubble around us. The essence of our love held me in a space. I was blessed to travel and to move and to be loved by so many, simply by the union of all of us together. Those things that you saw my Father do, that you speak of even today, they were not miracles in my eyes. They were a way of life. I grew up in a time, in a family that made simple things. Things seem simple, though many of you thought that they were out of your consciousness, of your abilities. The ability to move through time and space, the ability to remember our wholeness while living on earth, the ability to teleport, to move and to be in more than one place, the ability to multiply and draw through the law of attraction, to manifest in a single moment. All of these things were a way of life for me. And they can be for you also. Because I did not know differently. I didn't even conceive of a life in which those things weren't a part of it. Until that day, when the crowds turned against us, when the love was no longer pouring upon us, but the anger and the hatred and the fear. And I remember being in my Father's arms, our family cuddled together, surrounded by the spirit family that we had. And he held me, and he kissed me upon the head. And he told me that I had within my own heart everything that I needed to move forward in my life. To remember that he could never leave me, no matter what happened. He reminded me that night that love, our love, was stronger than anything that anger could bring. He reminded me to use my imagination, my inner vision, and my heart to be with him always. I remember resting my head upon his chest as he held me, my mother's eyes tearing. She knew more of what was about to happen than my little heart could conceive. So how did I see that fateful day when my father was hurt by the crowd? I saw them nail him to the cross. I heard the confusion in the crowd, the anger and the fear, and I heard my father's words reminding me that they did not know, they could not understand, and that they could not hurt him. And then, the moment his head dropped, I saw my father smile, like he had come to me so many times in dreams or when he traveled and we weren't together in the physical world, and he would come to put me to sleep with his kiss. As you may say, he was iridescent, illuminated, light body. And he came to me and to my siblings, and he touched us, and he kissed us. He went into my mother. I saw them become one. And I also saw a part of him become pure light. I felt him with me. And then a shrill from the crowd startled me back. And I looked at my father on the cross. Limp body. Oh yes, I did feel sadness some of those days because I wanted my father the way we were. But he never left me, not even for a day, not even for 3 days. I share this with you today because I want you to know that yes, there is pain in the human life, and yes, I will tell you more of what my life was like when I left that place. But my father never left me. He never left you. But no one, your father, your grandfather, your brother, your child, your sister, your mother, your grandmother, your friend or your lover, no one has ever left you. When you have eyes to see, eyes of love and eyes of innocence, ascension happens in every moment to every one of us. We are never separated. We are never alone. We have told the story of grief for many times, and now it is time to remember how effortlessly love can be when we remain open and innocent. And when we allow the flow to shift. My father was with me always. He always will be. There is no other truth. I thank you for listening, and I will speak again soon. It is an honor and a pleasure, but it is time for more of the story. I give thanks to the being that we know as Sarah, for the essence of her new and vibrant understanding, for the story that she has held in her heart for so long. And I give thanks to each one of us who are ready now to hear the rest of the story. Amen.